Receiving simulator transmission. Uploading transmitted feed. Initializing playback sequence. Log execute.
Hey everyone, Seipher here, and welcome back to Seipher Plays Pokemon Heart Gold Nuzlocke. In the last episode, we made our way to Crux City and explored the city, along with seeing various things, such as the Kimono Dance Hall, where we encountered a Team Rocket member interrupting a kimono dance. We also made our way into the Burned Tower, where we ran into our rival Scarlet again. In this episode, we will be taking on the Crux City Gym, but before we do that, I have a certain team member here that I want to evolve. Off-screen, I did do a few things, mainly got a few items, earned a little money from battling trainers, thus I got some items from my mom since I am having her store money. Anyway, I bought a few water stones from the Pokémon Dome, and because of the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I can use one on Slow Todd here to evolve him from a Slowpoke into a Slowking. I don't know why in the Gen 4 games onward that the Universal Pokemon Randomizer keeps it to a Water Stone when the ability to level up with while holding an item to evolve is a thing in Gen 4 onward, but oh well, makes it simpler, so now you've got a Slowking. And should be pretty useful. We also last episode got the HM for Surf, and encountered some legendary Pokemon, but I'm not going to be focusing on that. Anyway, we're going to be challenging the gym today, so let's get right on into it. Now, Slow Todd is very slow, probably going to be slower than just about everything in here, even with a level advantage, but I have faith in him. If you have any special attackers that you want to use in your game, I would definitely recommend bringing them, as they will get a lot of special attack EVs from fighting their way in this gym. Alright, and if they're just going to cut their own HP in half, who am I to argue? I'm probably going to have to do a bit of switching out, because Curse is a thing. But I think I can take out at least most of these, since I don't think that they have anything that can really damage us. And the reason I'm using Confusion rather than Surf is that because Confusion gets the same type attack bonus and is super effective against Ghastly due to it being a poison type, I feel that it is the better move to use. And I did give Slow Todd the Shell Bell, so he can recover a bit of HP each time, though I'll have to be a bit careful. Although, since I don't remember if he'll go down if Curse is active if he wins the battle, I will probably switch him out now that Mean Look is no longer a thing, due to that Ghastly going down. Because Curse honestly hurts. Eats a quarter of your HP every time. And rather than risk any issues, I'm just gonna shift Ash in. And I guess, oh yeah, that's another thing. That glitch has been happening to me all day. Both in wild battles and in trainer battles. Though it is a bit odd. In wild battles, it'll appear from the get-go and will disappear upon switching, whereas in trainer battles, it'll not be there from the get-go and then appear upon switching, so it's a bit odd. Anyway, I gotta be a bit careful with this because I do have the current level cap of 25 to deal with, but shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think I can manage to keep my team just below the cap for now. And when you beat them, the light disappears, so you gotta at least try to remember where the path is, but for now, I'm not too concerned. Let's just use a super potion. Because I want Slow Todd to take the lead. Granted, I know as Psychic type is probably not the best choice for this gym, considering Ghost has a super effectiveness against Psychic, but I honestly don't really think losing Slow Todd would be much of an issue. Granted, it is cool using a Slow King. You never really get to use these if you're a solo player in the real games, considering that they're restricted to trading, but I do have ideas for better water types, and in Nuzlocking, water types are honestly a dime a dozen. You're always going to have a water type because they're just so prevalent. Anyway, I'm going to use Confusion, and it's just going to kill itself with Curse. So I guess we'll find out if Curse affects you if you win the battle after this, so let's see. Heal, earn our experience, get up to the level cap, learn the move Headbutt, which I think I will take over Disable. I know that Slow Todd as a Slow King is more of a special attacker and doesn't really have the best physical offense, but you never know when you could use it. And I guess I don't take curse damage. Okay, well with that, I'm going to quickly swap to McBeal in the lead, just so that we can easily make through the rest of this gym and hopefully get her up to the level cap of 25. And one thing I should say, I did get the Twisted Spoon for her. If you go back to Route 29 on Tuesdays, after defeating Faulkner, you can get it from a woman on that route that wouldn't be there originally, so good thing to keep track of. Gonna power up those confusions quite well, though that adamant nature is gonna hold McBeal back just a bit. Though hopefully not too much. I do have a strategy involving McBeal since she is a knocked owl with insomnia, so she's honestly the best thing that I could use, even with her adamant nature. But I do have a more strategy than that, because I obviously can't just rely on Noctowl, especially seeing as we've seen that ghost types like to rely on using the move Curse and Mean Look to trap you in and make you regret trying to take them on with just one Pokemon. So I do have a bit more strategy in mind for the actual gym leader, but for right now, McBeal should be able to tear up just about everything with the gym trainers real easily. Even the Haunter, she's not too concerned. I mean, we're pretty much faster than everything right now, which is pretty good, though the gym leader's ace will be a different story entirely, but I get just the setup for a strategy to deal with that Haunter. I just have to make it there, but not Hunter, that ace. Just to... Well, I guess I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but yeah, I kind of like that there's a Ghost-type gym this far into the adventure. Like, Ghost-type is a very odd type. There's not many types that can affect it, not many types that you gain access to at this point that can really deal with it, so it's a good head scratcher in the regular games. Though for Nuzlocking, considering your encounters are limited to what you happen to find, it can be a bit frustrating, and that's also a bit frustrating. If you walk off the path into the void, you just get sent back to the beginning of the gym. Oh, which is equally annoying when you've got slowdown like this. But I should be fine. Now, I probably should have actually had Langstrom take part in that last battle, but because I do actually know that his happiness, or friendship as I've been calling it, is at the level where he can evolve because he is a happiness evolution. But I guess to give us a bit more of a interesting battle, we can see how he does without evolving. Granted, I could just take him outside and fight some wild Pokemon, but I think I've had quite an easy time up to this, so let's make this interesting. It's good of you to have come. Here in Eckertique, Pokemon have long been revered. It's said that a rainbow-hued Pokemon will come down to appear before a truly powerful trainer. I believe that tale, so I have secretly trained here all my life. Okay, odd, but you do you, man. As a result, I can now see what others cannot, alright? I see a shadow of the person who will make that Pokemon appear. I believe that person is me. A bit full of yourself, huh? Just because you can see into the future, you automatically assume you're the guy that's gonna bring this rainbow-hued Pokemon to you? Whatever. I can see why you hang out with Useem. You're going to help me reach that level. Alright, well, this is Morty, and I am honestly a little worried, but not too worried, because I do have a strategy for this guy. If you have a normal type with a dark type move, though, he can be kind of a cakewalk, say for one Pokemon in particular. But I'm just going to focus on using Langstrom and his bite. At least for most of this. Depending on what he sends out, it might be a bit tougher. My calculations did actually call for Langstrom to have evolved by this point, so this might be a bit tougher than I was expecting, at least for the actual main fight of this, because I expect all these to go down pretty easily, save for one who is coming out now, his ace, his level 25 Gengar, holding a Citrus Berry, I believe. It is very fast and has a very powerful stab-type move in Shadow Ball, 80 power, and has a chance to lower your special defense. And of course, I'm trapped in now, so this is actually a very bad thing. I was hoping that I would be faster. This is very bad. Oh! I guess Mean Look doesn't affect U-turn. Okay, good. Thank goodness. That would have been the death knell of Langstrom for sure if that wasn't the case. Okay. So the first thing I want to do with McBeal on the field now is I want to use Hypnosis, because that blocks his main method of attack outside of Shadow Ball, Sucker Punch, which only hits if you try and attack him. By putting him to sleep with Hypnosis, it lowers the damage that he can do to you. And now that he's asleep, I can just attack him and just worry about the times that he wakes up and uses Sucker Punch as the only times that he can actually damage me. So this should go by super simple now. That said, you never know what can happen, so here's hoping that we can get a crit and finish him off. Come on, one more. Use Hypnosis. That's its other tactic, putting you to sleep with its own Hypnosis, but McBeal has Insomnia, so if it hit, it wouldn't have worked, so thank goodness. Biggest threat out of the way. Now all he has left is a Haunter, and we can easily deal with it. I'm just going to use Confusion, because I have the Twisted Spoon, and I doubt it'll be able to take two of these. all it can really do is trap me in with Mean Look and then possibly curse me, I think. I don't remember the exact movesets of his Haunters. He has 2 of them, but shouldn't be an issue. And he was a idiot there. It was his last Pokemon and he used Curse, automatically losing the fight for no reason. How is this possible? Dude, you really made this happen. You chose to be foolish. And now Langstrom's evolving after ending the battle on that note. Jesus. I mean, Morty. There's foolishness that, like, Bugsy, and then there's this. You are a greater fool than Bugsy was. I don't think our potentials are so different, but you seem to have something more than that. So be it. This badge is yours. Ever received the Fog Badge from Morty? Alright. By having the Fog Badge, Pokemon up to level 50, including traded Pokemon, will obey you. Also, Pokemon will be able to use Surf. Here's another thing. I want you to have this too. TM30. It's Shadow Ball. It causes damage and may reduce special defense. Use it if it appeals to you. While that would be good on Pariah, I'm going to hold off on actually using it, because Pariah can gain Shadow Ball naturally, and I personally would want to save the TM for someone who doesn't learn it naturally. It's a good special attack, so good to keep on hand in case you ever need anything. And Mother's calling, but I'm not gonna answer. And now we've got Crobat following us. So, a fully evolved team member, just like that. And honestly, one of the best Pokemon in a Nuzlocke. Crobat is crazy defensive with its typing. It's crazy fast. Not that you really need to see that after how fast Golbat was. And just, honestly, all-around good. Good moves. It's honestly a very good Pokemon. Anyway, with that taken care of, I'm going to actually swap Langstrom back to the 4th position of my party. Okay, that was odd. Don't know why that was happening. But I'm actually going to put Jin to the front, because now the Johto region has kind of opened up to us. There's a lot of things that we can go do. However, the current level cap for me is 31 for the 5th gym, and I'm going to be holding off on challenging any gyms or anything for now, because we have quite a bit of freedom, but the level cap is so small that I don't want to risk any issues. We are going to be tackling things in a bit out of an out-of-order way, but for right now, I'm going to just take advantage of what Surf can offer to start filling out my team just a bit. And the first thing I'm going to do is surf in this pond here, and we ran into a Pokemon, a Poliwag, a female Poliwag. Well, this is good. And it's actually decently leveled, so I won't have to worry too much about it. So we're just going to use False Swipe. For those of you that don't know, False Swipe is a 40 power normal type move that'll always leave the opponent with 1 HP, perfect for catching wild Pokemon. So I'm just going to use that, and then I'm going to throw a Pokeball. I could use a Lure Ball, but if I remember correctly, that only has an increased catching modifier for Pokemon that are fished up rather than found through surfing. It's kind of odd, but whatever. Anyway, Poliwag cut. And you're a tadpole. So I think I'm just going to go with a very basic name. Actually, you know what? Polyam. That will be very useful for later. If I need something to replace Slow Todd, which I might, you never know. Anyway, with that, I'm going to actually try headbutting a few trees to see what else we can find here. Because I know that there are Pokemon that we can catch in the trees, but I need to find the specific ones. I suppose this does explain one thing about my Nuzlocking with the headbutt rule. I did actually go through Ilex Forest and try and find a specific headbutt tree, but I didn't actually let the animation play out before. Like, I saved my game in Ilex Forest, went around looking for the headbutt tree that I wanted. Well, looking for a headbutt tree, and then as soon as I got an encounter, I shut the game off to save my suspense on what I could run into for Ilex Forest from that headbutt tree for my FHH claws. And it ended up being alright. This was mainly just to save time since I knew I was going to be doing that headbutt thing the first thing in that episode, but for future references, future times that I actually use headbutt, I probably won't do that unless it perfectly coincides with the beginning of a new episode. I'm not having much luck, and you can see now why I did that, because trying to find a headbutt tree can be a bit of an irritating experience. It's like you can never seem to find one when you're looking. Come on, drop out of the tree, Pokemon. There we go. And no. Well, that's not good. But at least I found a tree, so once you find a tree that'll actually drop Pokemon, it'll always drop Pokemon. It'll then just be a matter of trying to catch a Pokemon from it. And an Execute. Okay, not the best, but I can work with this. Let's just do another False Swipe. Oh, that's not good. Alright, well, let's try another Pokeball. Alright, now that's bad. Okay, I'm gonna quickly swap to McBeal. Use Hypnosis. I know it's not as good as Sleep Powder, but better than nothing. And with it asleep now, it should not break out of a Pokeball. Okay, good. That takes care of yet another Headbutt Pokemon. And I have just the name for you because it was one of the other ones that I was considering for Florentine, the Togepi. And honestly, probably seen through by most people. Probably what most people expected me to do, since I didn't really have an idea for Florentine and just didn't want to be the same as everybody else. Anyway, with that, Actually, let's quickly go here. Because if we go to this route, and walk toward this cave. Oh boy. Sorry that I bumped into you. Did I hurt you? Please don't cry. Here, take this. This guy will give us HMO4. It's a move called Strength. When a Pokemon learns it, it can move boulders out of your way. Enjoy a happy mountain climbing life. Alright, well, with that, let's see, what is blankly staring in this direction? Sure, let's call its name. And he's happy. Alright, well, with that, I think we will end things off here. So, thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay gold.
Playback sequence terminated. Transmission disconnected.